Shalom, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Barakah Kodash. Double honors unto the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom unto the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the men, women, and children out there listening and learning from the servants of prophets, Yahweh Bahashem Shai. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the servants and prophets, Yahweh Bahashem Shai, and to the men of valor and DTA camps spread all across Babylon the Great. This is Brother Ashamath from the Watchman on the Coast out here in San Diego, back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Adon Rathazah, Yahweh Rathazah, may the lesson be edifying. And this is going to be a response to the lesson that was just put up by the elder from Mississippi, Ayashamath. And it was done by another beloved elder in his camp. And the lesson was entitled, Dear Miss Jones. And it was based on an out-of-order woman coming onto his comment board, leaving her madness and spewing her madness. And as a part of this message going out, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man reclaiming their masculinity and also declaring the victory, you're going to have a lot of hurt Israelite women, beginning with the so-called black women, protest and proclaim their disgust for what we're doing, because this is adverse to feminism, which they get from Esau, Edom, This is adverse to, the way things are done in Western society. And as a part of Western society, women are put in a pedestal, their opinion matters, so on and so forth. But as we're doing this, you're going to have Israelite women proclaim their hurt, man, because through doing this, we're knocking down their pedestal, and the times of Eve and the serpent running the pick and roll is just about up. Her time of being the pick and roll princess, where, her able to get, benefits and so on and so forth from this devil, well, that's coming to an end. And you're going to have a lot of butthurt women, come in the comment boards, come up to the camps, so on and so forth, and proclaim their hurt. And that's a part of the story, But let's go into this comment, and we'll go into the scriptures and wrap on up. Don't want this to be too long, if the Spirit allows. So let's read this comment first. And it says, do your research before you post. I mean, actual research from a credible source before you post, please. And that whole spirit of, women fact checking men, that's out of order, completely out of order, especially when they try to come on the comment boards and do it to the servants of prophets, Yahweh Bahashem Shai, but who do they get that ideology from? Esau, man, he promotes this whole doctrine of equality, everybody's equal, women and men are on an equal playing field. That's madness, man, And as we're starting to build the tabernacle of David, all those lies are being cast down, including equality, women being out of order, so on and so forth. Put that on top of your 2022 goals, okay. Well, she needs to put shut the fuck up on the top of her 2022 goals. She has been saying this for the past couple months. In interviews, look it up, that she wanted to cut her hair off. And a woman's glory is her hair, Earlier in December, she surprised her fans and told her that she was cutting it all off. She looks like she needs to do a class on grammar. That has nothing to do with the Jamaican witch. FYI, hair grows back. you know? And women shouldn't be coming on the comment board dropping their 2 cents anyway, man. And that's why the apostles made a decree, you know, maybe about a month or two back, for brothers to keep an eye on women being out of order and just block them from the pages if they say anything more than a simple shalom, you know? And a lot of these women take that madness that they have in other camps and they try to take it into the brotherhood that we have over here, you know, under Great Millstone and under men that teach the same exact doctrine. You have out of order women, you know, coming from these other congregations who try to take that madness over here, and it gets checked immediately, man. You know, because a real prophet, a real servant of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua isn't going to let a woman rule over him, man. That's complete madness. That's complete folly. Let's go into the scriptures and wrap on up. This is Proverbs 9:13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. Why? Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua had deprived her of wisdom, neither had he imparted to her understanding. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding was given unto the men. The tabernacle of the Most High dwells with men, you know, not with women. There wasn't one single woman in the scriptures bringing it out. You know, there's no book of Mary. You know, there's no, you know, book where women are teaching and preaching and prophesying. Not one. None of the prophets were women. Ecclesiastes 25:16, the book of Sirach 25:16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. And you have a lot of wicked women, you know, who are starting to ear hustle the prophets, and they want to take that madness that they have in the world and bring it into the truth, you know, and try to get women to be rebellious who are actually in order, you know, in that crab in the bucket mentality. And it's going to be checked right at the door, man. And you can see the door if you're coming in that spirit, you know. The book of Micah, the 7th chapter and the 10th verse. Then she that is my enemy shall see it. And we don't have our women in this captivity. You know, we're royalty in captivity, you know. So our women are completely out of order and defiled. That's why you see Keisha, you know, she got 4 baby daddies. She got another one on the way. She don't know what nigga got her pregnant. You know, she's completely dependent on the system. You have these women who try to trap athletes and rappers, you know, try to get pregnant by them as a means, you know, to have a bag and chase the bag. Well, you got a lot of women who are going to be victims of that circumstance in the form of going that route and finding out it's not the way. You had that situation happen a few weeks ago, better yet, with this woman right here, who, you know, thought it was wise to go out there and, you know, get online and put herself out there, and she ended up being no more after that. And this is a news article that was passed around on social media, and I caught a wind of it, and it says 23-year-old woman loses life after meeting older Caucasian male on Bumble dating app. You have a lot of these women who meet, you know, heathens on dating apps, and what happens? They go out with them. Some of them go to the woods. They do like a romantic dinner, and then you don't hear from them no more, you know, because they're out there sleeping with the enemy, and they become victim of the circumstances. And you're going to have a lot of women who are going to be victims of the circumstances, especially with these men being let out of prison. You have jails and prisons that have overpopulation problems due to the pandemic. And a lot of those men in those facilities, they haven't touched a woman in years, man. And some of them are in there because of women. So what do you think they're going to do when 2020 through 2022, 2020 through is in full effect and they're locking everything down and she got food in the refrigerator? You know, she's been showing her ass on social media, so on and so forth. Well, she's going to become a victim of the circumstances, man. Be trodden down as mire in the street. And that's judgment from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Micah 7:10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord my power? Where is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai my power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And that's what happened to Eve going out there on Bumble. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of these Eves who are in this spirit right here. The fact check spirit. Let me fact check the prophets. You know, let me get one up on men who are out there making their bodies a living sacrifice. You know, that whole spirit of rebellion against the, you know, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American men, beginning with the prophets, that's going to be your demise, man. You know, especially if you come on the comment boards or if you come up to the camps, you know, professing your disgust for what men are doing. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai may send a swift judgment that night for you. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens to this lady right here. Let's keep it going. 1 Corinthians 14:33, for the Most High is not the author of confusion. This is complete confusion. And a lot of these women come from these other camps, ear hustling the true prophets and try to come and bring that I'm a rule over you spirit into the real truth, because they're dealing with watered down doctrines. A lot of these camps outside of GMS, they teach for, you know, filthy lucre, for vainglory. And they're afraid of women. They're afraid of Eve. They won't make a video going in on Eve because they'll lose followers. You know, they won't have the 100, you know, character, 200, 300 character comments that say mighty lesson, prophet, you know, so on and so forth, very edifying. We're not doing it for that, man. We don't care about that, man. We care about order. And in our kingdom, we're not going to have women talking back, being out of order, trying to rule over us. You know, real kings, they don't have that happening, man. You know, everything is in order with the true king. And you have kings and priests right now declaring the victory, man. And part of the victory is victory over the beast and over Eve, you know, who's been put in a pedestal by Esau, Edom. And this doctrine, this message that's going out at a very high level in these last days is declaring an end to that. And you're going to have more out of order women confess their disgust for what we're doing, just to be destroyed for doing so. 1 Corinthians 14:33, for the Most High is not the author of confusion. And confusion is having women speak in the church, man. Shut your ass up. We had enough of you. You know? We don't need your opinion. We don't need your fact checking. 1 Corinthians 14:33, and we don't hate women. We hate out of order women. You know? I love Israelite women, but I hate out of order Israelite women. 1 Corinthians 14:33, for the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Let your women keep silence in the churches. Shut the hell up. We don't need your 2 cents. We don't need your fact checking. For it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. Let's go into this word obedience. So this word obedience in the Strong's, in the Greek, Slakia. Phone's losing battery. We'll wrap on up in the next 5-10 minutes. This word under obedience, it's Strong's G for Strong's Greek, 5293.
Strong's G 5293. Hupatasso. Hupatasso.
Upatasso. And that goes into put under, be subject unto, submit oneself. And you have a lot of women who don't want to be ruled over by a man, because they think they can do it on their own, and that's a Western mindset, man. And who did they get that from? The devil, man. Esau, Edom, Shaitan, the adversary, who feeds women feminism, and they gave women that women's liberation movement just so they can tax the other half of the household who they weren't taxing back in the day. That was all a ploy to get more tax money out of the American public, and Eve not only, fell for that, but she also fell for welfare reform, which allowed them to kick the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man out of the household and get a bag from Esau, Edom. And what are the effects of that? Effeminate children, as far as your effeminate men, children growing up without a father, without any guidance, and you have a lot of effeminate men who are scared of their women, man. Completely out of order. Be in subjection unto, put in subjection under, submit oneself to. To submit to one's control, to obey, be subject, to yield to one's admonition or advice. And what do they look at us as? Unlearned men, niggas, spiggers on the corner with Bibles, cursing out, the so-called white men, It's more than that, What's being proclaimed is rulership, And it's completely contrary to the Western society that we live in. A new regime is being proclaimed, and that new regime is a regime of order. Let's go get that last. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14 and 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. If you don't have a husband, shut up. And even if you do have a husband, shut up still. Go ask him, man. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in church. Once again, you didn't have any women prophets, and you didn't have any women going out to war when we warred against the nations. So you shouldn't have women at camp, but you have a lot of these other congregations. What do? They let women, have the floor, that IUIC spirit. We're going to have dance-offs and so on and so forth with the women in our congregation. And a lot of adultery comes out of that, They have the doctrine of you can only have one woman. You can't have any concubines, so on and so forth, That effeminate spirit on men. Once again, afraid of women. Afraid to put these women in order. Afraid to let these women know their place. But the servants and prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, the real men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, they don't give a damn about Eve's feelings, man. Not only are we cussing Esau out to his face, we're letting Eve know that whole, fact checking, I'm going to talk back to you spirit, that's done, man. We're putting an end to that, man. 1 Timothy 2 and 11, let the women learn in silence with all subjection. Shut the hell up. 1 Timothy 2 and 12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And if you go into that word teach, let's just get it. It means to lead, What do you have our men being in the state of? Letting their women rule over them. This is Isaiah 3 and 12. And that's a effeminate spirit. As for my people, children are their oppressors, Esau, Edom, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy past. You're going to be destroyed, you know, because of the woman became the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And if you let Esau Edom lead you, what's he going to lead you to? You know, your destruction as well. Esau is his death. Slocky. Let's wrap on up. 1 Timothy 2 and 12. Let's go into this word teach. Slocky. And it says, Strong's G 1321. Didasco.
Strong's G 1321. Didasco. Didasco.
And it goes into teach, to hold discourse with others in order to instruct them, to lead, you know, and that's completely out of order. Deliver didactic discourses, that's what that woman was doing, you know. To discharge the officer of a teacher, to conduct oneself as a teacher, to impart instruction, instill doctrine into one, to explain or expound a thing. And that's what she was trying to do, man. To exert authority over an actual man who's putting his hand to the plow and, you know, plowing away, destroying Esau Edom's lies, you know, and that's completely out of order. And we're gonna get on these women when they try to do that, man. Unlike these other groups, we're not afraid of Eve. But you have a lot of groups out there in the effeminate spirit of being afraid of women, you know. How dare you talk to the daughters of Zion like that? To hell with Eve, man. That's out of order. We're only concerned about those that get the message, but also we got to call out stuff that's out of order. And this is completely out of order. Last precept, and let's close on out. 1 Corinthians 14-40. Let all things be done decently and in order. And true order is being proclaimed. You know, we're going to have complete order in the kingdom, man. You know, this place is all out of order. Everything's turned upside down because the wicked's in authority. And part of proclaiming this message is getting on Eve, you know, who's out of order. Yep. 1 Timothy 2 and 13, for Adam was first formed, then Eve, and then Eve was deceived. This is Sirach 26 and 25, I believe. 26 and 26. Oh yeah, I'll be 25. So, it's 25, I believe. 25 and 26. Yeah, 25 and 24. This is the book of Sirach 25 and 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Once again, Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children of their oppressors, and women rule over them, O my people, which lead thee, cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy past. And who is leading a lot of Israelite men? You have a lot of men being led by their women, man, you know? And once again, let all things be done decently and in order. Of the woman, Slakia, came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. But through the servants of prophecy, Yahweh Shai, the elect remnant will live. But it all starts with standing stiff on the doctrine. And a part of that is getting on out of order women. And this isn't about your feelings. This is about order. 1 Corinthians 14-40, let all things be done decently and in order. And once again, this is out of order. And we're going to stand on the doctrine, whether you like it or not. So with that, I'd like to close on out. And in closing, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom. And to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hope of the elect. A hearty shalom to the servants of prophecy, Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of valor camps and DTA camps spread all across Babylon the Great, prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom as well. So Adon Rathazah, Yahweh Rathazah, you are edified by this lesson. And until next time, Lord's will, shalom, DTA, wa abba baba. Soon. Shalom.